What is up, everyone? It is Coach Rob DeBoer with my great friend Dustin Schaefer here again, live with the top 10 objections to drinking ketones from the health, fitness, nutrition industry. We thought we'd have fun with this. Today, we are talking about number 6, but let me just recap where we've been. We've talked about the resistance to the health, fitness, nutrition industry. Dustin, I think the reason, I don't know, maybe we're qualified is because we're part of that industry. We've been part of that industry. We've been athletes. We've been skeptics. We've asked all the hard questions. So this is just a collaboration and a combination of everything over the last 8 years that I know were questions I had. And today, this was never one of my questions, but I understand where it comes from. So today, the top 10 objections, we're doing this late night with David Letterman style, to drinking ketones from the health, fitness, nutrition industry. Number 6, drum roll, is I don't believe in supplements. This is a drinkable ketone. This is exogenous ketones. When people hear that word exogenous, think exo, outside the body. Exogenous ketones that we supplement into the body, very different than endo, internal, inside endogenous ketone production. So Dustin, I'll let you kind of run with it and then I'll fill in what's missing. I don't believe in supplements.
Oh my goodness. There was probably a phase in my life where I was in that place until I guess I got educated and understood that to me, what's interesting, and I'm not going to say, I'll let you talk about this probably, but this is more of a food than anything else anyway. So, but when it comes to supplementation really is designed to fill a gap that you need. And when we live in a world that we live in today, that we're under higher amounts of stress, our food isn't what it used to be, our diet's been jeopardized, our health has been jeopardized. It's a tool and a support. The challenge with supplementation is really, what do you use? Like, how do you use it? Which one's more important? What is the most important? I have ideas. But I actually got to study under Charles Poliquin for many years, who taught me and understood the nutraceutical world and supplementation, of how it impacts the brain, the muscles, and how do we use it as an enhancement for performance for all areas of life. So I think supplementation is somebody that maybe if you live in the woods in Montana and you have the perfect life and perfect world and you have no stress in your life, because stress literally reduces magnesium, reduces stomach acid so that you're less acidic. It has so many impacts. So if you live in the perfect world, maybe you don't need a supplement, do the ketogenic diet. But for 99.9% of all of us, the only way to optimize performance is to use a tool or a supplement to get there.
Love it. And what's interesting is, and we're talking about exogenous ketones, specifically Pruvit's kind of the category king, launched, now almost 8 years ago. There's multiple patents on this product. But it's very different. So when we speak supplement, number one, I understand, but I also believe context matters. I think there is a perfect world, as you mentioned, but I also think when we take a very practical approach, supplements help people like me and you help so many more people, because most people don't live in the perfect world. Most people will choose practical over being perfect. So hear us loud and clear. You'll never hear us say, hey, protein powder, protein supplementation is better than real food. That's not at all what we're saying. What we're saying is, let us help you create the only diet that works, and that is the one someone will do. Now, our goal is, how do we create a diet that, let's face it, not everybody needs to lose fat. Not everybody wants to gain muscle, but we all want to age well. And for me, that's looking, feeling, performing good as we go. Just so happens, what if we can make you an efficient, effective fat burner? Even someone that doesn't have a lot of fat to burn, a lot of fat to lose, they want to be efficient and effective at being a fat burner. Whether someone believes it or not, as we age, we compromise muscle mass. That's why there's study after study. We need to probably increase our protein intake as we age. We always need to, at least in my belief, an ongoing strength stimulus. This doesn't mean you need to join CrossFit or have a gym membership. It just means, are you continually telling the brain with a signal from the body that your bicep is necessary and needed? Because if you don't, over the course of time, your body will lose that muscle. It will use that muscle, and it will give up that muscle as a source of energy. So all of this to say, the reason ketones as a supplement is so different is because it's quantifiable. And I want to point this out. We're not here to debate protein powders. There's vegan plant-based powders, there's whey-based, there's animal-based. What we will say is this is quantifiable in the body, in the blood, within an hour, 100% of the time with one serving. Now, Dustin, the reason that's important is because now you don't have to take what I say, you can prove it. Right. Hence the name of our company. In other words, ketones are an energy molecule. You alluded to this. It's a caloric molecular unit that has an energy tied to it. So it's got a caloric value. We all know the big three: protein, carbs, fat. Technically, alcohol could be considered a food nutrient because it's got a caloric value. But ketones have a caloric value. So when we drink ketones, they show up in the blood at a heightened level. And I would argue when you drink this product, it's in the body, in the blood, at a level that matters for the brain. I hear you say all the time, and I would agree, the heart and the muscle to use. So we've just got a product that it creates greater compliance. It's a supplement of all supplements. This doesn't replace protein. There's plenty of protein supplements and a lot of food options and varieties. But you can't drink ketones outside of supplementation. You have to initiate a process called ketogenesis to create this condition called ketosis. And Dustin, we found, in fact, that might have been one of our top 10 objections. I'm not a ketogenic person. I don't follow a ketogenic diet. Even more reason why this is the supplement of all supplements, because we can put you in a condition of ketosis without following the complicated ketogenic diet.
Well, here's the data. Let's say roughly 97% of human existence, we've been in a state of ketosis. So for almost all of our lifetime, we've been in. Dr. Angela Poff said this when somebody asked her, "Is it okay to be in ketosis all the time?" She goes, "That's not the real question. The real question is how long should you be out of ketosis?"
Interesting.
She goes, "Just because the last 100 years we've shifted so much away from being in a ketogenic state." That she goes, that's the concern. Over the last 100 years, look at the decline of our health of our countries. Look at the the early onset conditions and challenges and health problems people have. Look at weight and mass and obesity going through the roof. And the common denominator to that is the lifestyle choices, and not producing ketones is a byproduct of that. So supplementing something to get us back to a primitive state is just unbelievably remarkable. And I'm a huge fan of supplementation, but it's done a huge impact for me. And partly because I had to get educated too. I had to find, who do I listen to? And we work with the top doctors and researchers and formulators and scientists in the world because we want to provide high quality things that we can go to a naturopathic doctor and say, hey, will you check this out? And they're like, yeah. We can go to NASA scientists and go, will you check this out? And they go, yes, this is good stuff. And I would just say this is, I have a pecking order of priorities, I would say, for human existence, right? Because instinctually humans want to survive and reproduce. Like that's, at the end of the day, that's really our goals. I know you might want to look good, you want this, but your body wants to live and reproduce. Like it's important. So it really comes down to these three major components, and then everything else really supplements it. Is ketones, minerals, and amino acids, and four, and fatty acids, essential fatty acids. The thing about the protein typically will come along with the fatty acids if consumed properly. And so what happens is those are really the essentials. You need those to thrive. Everything else, the vitamins and everything else, is really situational, and they can be fluctuated from one to another pretty often. But you can't go long-term survival and optimize human reproduction and longevity without those four things. So I think supplementing maybe those, it could be useful if you can't do it in your diet perfectly.
Love it. And just to kind of reiterate, look, this is a quantifiable nutritional supplement. I understand where the debate comes in. My protein's better than your protein. Now there's all kinds of research and studies where BCAAs may not be as efficient or effective. Now they're looking more at essential amino acids. And by the way, if you're eating a protein-rich diet, you probably don't need either of those. Nevertheless, here's the reality. We have a very significant supplement. It can't be reproduced by other companies. It's exclusive to this company. It's exclusive to us, and we believe in this because we've seen just testimony after testimony after testimony. So we encourage you, as part of the health and fitness industry, ask questions, raise eyebrows, do your due diligence, dive in and see what we have to say. And if we could do a better job quantifying or clarifying what this is as a supplement that stands alone, I think in a very crowded space, we'd be happy to do that. So any final words, Dustin? We hope people will like, share, comment, engage. We want to be challenged because we were challenged over the last several years. One of the reasons we put this top 10 objection list together.
Yeah, I would just say the last ones is if you really want a true test of this, especially from the health and fitness industry. And what I did is I listen, I'm one person of many. So I decided I was going to commit to 90 days. 90 days was my commitment. And then I got people that were not me to do the same thing. My sister, my mom, my aunt, just people that were different lives. And we got different answers and different perspectives from all those individuals, as long as they committed to getting ketones in their system continuously. So I would just say, hey, commit if you're going to try it, but always come back to us with more questions. And if you have somebody that needs this, or you think that this brings value to you, please share it to them and let them know that we're here for them.
Awesome. Awesome. So y'all, that is today's number 6 objection. I don't believe in supplements. Go back, rewind, watch all top 10. We've got 5 to go. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Cheers, y'all.